Fox's tops at the box office. Our movie man is here to talk about the Foxtrot. Good morning to you, Eric.
Good morning.
I couldn't help myself with
Sure.
that one. Thank you. All right, let's take a look at this big win this year by Fox Film Studios. Let's
Yes.
call them the Big Eight because this has been a hot streak for the film company.
Most certainly. Well, I mean, going back to April, starting with Rio 2, the sort of the unprecedented sort of perfect success that they had over the summer. I mean, these are films that, you know, the grosses speak for themselves, but the fact is that the way that the budgets have been handled, that all these films have managed to cut a profit for Fox.
So along with Rio, it was The Other Woman, which I saw and loved, X-Men, Days of Future Past, The Fault in Our Stars, How to Train Your Dragon, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Let's Be Cops, and The Maze Runner.
Yeah, and The Maze Runner, which, you know, was just #1 at the box office this past weekend, sort of a young adult novel where the budget was sort of kept, you know, to a minimum, and they've had, you know, it's got off to a really good start in the U.S. It's made over almost $50 million overseas so far. It's going to be in profit for Fox, so it's going to be the 8th one in a row for them.
And it's not over because coming to theaters soon, Gone Girl. That's going to be an instant hit.
We're going to talk about that more next week, but that's going to be a thing.
Also coming up for Fox, Book of Life, The Penguins of Madagascar, The Pyramid, Exodus, Gods and Kings, and Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb.
Yeah, so they got some sequels in there. Penguins of Madagascar, I think, is going to be huge. This is the best part of those movies are those penguins.
You had me at the Penguins.
Yeah,
for sure.
and Gone Girl is going to be a really interesting movie with David Fincher. We'll talk more about that.
Last weekend at the box office, as Eric already mentioned, it was The Maze Runner coming in at a clear #1, followed by A Walk Among the Tombstones, This Is Where I Leave You, No Good Deed, and Dolphin Tale 2. Now, coming out this weekend, a couple of films you had the opportunity to screen, The Equalizer and The Box Trolls.
Yeah, and I like both of them. I mean, they're two very different audiences. Obviously, The Equalizer is for adult audiences. It's a very hard R action film with Denzel Washington, who is, you know, very solid, does very solid numbers at the box office, and I think it's going to be a very clear, very hefty #1, I think, for them this weekend with that Sony. They could definitely use a hit, the Sony Studios. And Box Trolls from the Leica Studios, who did Coraline and Paranorman, really interesting, dark, animated films. And the Box Trolls, very weird film, but kids might have a little trouble getting into it. It sort of has a kind of a Monty Python vibe to it, but it's also quite enjoyable, and I hope that finds an audience because the Leica Studios are doing some very interesting animated work.
Maybe the audience will be with adults on that film.
Yeah, well, I would hope so. I mean, I hope that, you know, the audiences, a film like Box Trolls finds an audience with both adults and kids. I have a feeling that, you know, adults are going to go see The Equalizer, probably drop their kids off the Box Trolls.
Good to have you here. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.